I felt it the second I heard her phone vibrating on the kitchen table. Something was wrong. She never went anywhere without it. That sharp, persistent buzz sliced through the quiet house like it was revealing a truth I wasn't prepared to face. I stood there, half-dressed for work, staring at the cracked little screen that belonged to the woman I'd been married to for 9 years. Emily never forgot her phone. She would turn the car around for it even if she was already running late. She once made us drive back after we were 10 minutes away from a dinner reservation. But that morning, it was just sitting there abandoned. The buzzing paused for a moment, giving me a brief, foolish hope that it was nothing. Then it lit up again. A message notification. A photo preview. I knew I shouldn't look. Every marriage counselor, pastor, and relationship article warns you not to snoop. It breaks trust. It's intrusive. I knew all of that. But my chest was folding in on itself, and something deeper, fear, instinct, both, pulled me toward the screen. I picked up the phone. The message was from an unfamiliar number. No name, just digits. Attached was a single photo, a hotel room, crisp sheets, dim lighting, and on the bed, someone's crossed legs. The caption read, "Waiting." For a moment, the world shrank so small it felt impossible to breathe. I put the phone down too fast, like it burned me, and stepped back. My heartbeat thundered in my ears. It felt like everything inside me was caving in, walls splitting, the floor dropping away. I whispered, "No, no, it can't be." Because Emily wasn't that kind of person. She couldn't be. We'd had rough patches, arguments about money, stretches of quiet distance, her new job keeping her late, but this? I never imagined betrayal. I didn't want to. Then it buzzed again. Another message. Room 214. A winking emoji. My hands shook so violently I had to brace myself against the counter. I didn't open it. I didn't need to. The pieces were falling together on their own, forming a picture I desperately wished I could unsee. It was 8:17 a.m. She'd left earlier than usual, saying she had a team meeting across town. She'd kissed me, but it was quick, distracted, her eyes already somewhere else. I grabbed her phone again. I don't know why. Maybe because part of me still hoped there was some innocent explanation. Something rational. Something that didn't hurt. There wasn't. I didn't call her. I didn't text. I couldn't. I felt numb as I took my keys and walked out, not even bothering with a jacket. The cold morning air slapped my face, snapping everything into a painful clarity. I drove without thinking, my fingers locked too tightly around the steering wheel. My mind replayed the last few months, the late nights, the renewed interest in makeup, the gym clothes tossed in the back of her car even though she never came home sweating. The way she turned her phone face down. The way she tensed when I walked into a room unexpectedly. I'd scolded myself for noticing. Told myself I was imagining things. Told myself work stress was making me paranoid. Told myself she loved me because she said she did. But a hotel room number doesn't lie. 10 minutes later, I pulled into the parking lot of the Westview Hotel, a place I'd passed countless times without caring. Now it towered over me like a monument to everything I didn't want to admit. I stayed in the car for a long time. Maybe only 2 minutes. It felt like hours. Don't do this, I whispered to myself. Just, don't. But I couldn't turn away. Not from the truth. Not from her. I stepped out and walked toward the entrance, every step heavier than the last. The lobby was warm and quiet, too quiet. The receptionist looked up with a polite smile I couldn't return. My voice cracked as I asked, "Is someone checked into room 214? "I'm sorry, sir," she replied gently. "We can't share guest information." Of course they couldn't. I nodded, swallowed the lump in my throat, and took the stairs instead of the elevator. I couldn't be trapped in a small metal box with my own reflection shaking back at me. Every step felt like wading through cement. My chest was tight. My stomach twisted violently. On the second floor, I stopped. The hallway stretched out in front of me, soft carpeting muffling my steps. Room numbers glimmered under dim yellow lights. Then 214. I stood staring at the door, unable to move. My hand hovered inches from it. "Just knock," Just do something. But my body refused. I wasn't ready for what might be on the other side. I wasn't ready for her eyes widening in guilt or anger. Or worse, softness meant for someone else. My throat tightened. Then the door opened. Just a crack. A man's voice murmured, "Babe?" I froze. He froze. We stared at each other, shock twisting both our faces. He wasn't what I expected, not younger, not older, not unusually attractive. Just a regular man, confused and half-dressed, clutching a towel around his waist. "Who are you?" he asked. I opened my mouth, but no sound came out. Then I heard Emily's voice, from inside. "Who is it?" Her footsteps approached. Light. Familiar. Too familiar. When she appeared beside him, still fixing her hair, it felt like the world drove its fist straight into my gut. Her eyes met mine, and in that instant, everything, the years, the memories, the late-night conversations, the vacations we talked about but never took, shattered. "Daniel," she whispered, voice cracking. "What? Why are you?" I stepped back because I needed space to breathe. She reached for me, instinctively, but I flinched. Pain flickered across her face, followed by the reality of what she'd done. "Please," she said softly, trembling. "Please let me explain." The man glanced between us, confused. "Emily, who is he?" "I'm her husband," I said. The words splintered halfway out. I'm her husband." Silence swallowed the hallway. Even the air seemed to stop moving. Emily covered her mouth, tears filling her eyes. "Dan, I'm so sorry. I didn't want you to find out like this." "Didn't want me to find out?" I repeated, a bitter laugh ripping through me. "That's what you're sorry for?" The man stepped back inside, giving us space, but the damage was already complete. Everything lay exposed, raw, ugly, undeniable. I couldn't look at her. I stared at the carpet instead, focusing on a loose thread like it mattered more than my marriage. "I loved you," I whispered. "God, Emily. I loved you so much." She sobbed. I know you did. And I ruined everything." "You didn't ruin something," I said, meeting her eyes at last. "You made a choice." She collapsed to her knees, gripping the doorframe, crying so hard she could barely breathe. Maybe she was sorry. Maybe she wasn't. I couldn't tell anymore. I couldn't trust anything she said. "Not now." I took another step back. "I can't stay here," I said quietly. "I can't even look at you. Dan, please don't go. Let me explain. Let me fix this. I'll do anything." But I shook my head. "You already did everything." She reached out again, but I pulled away, turning toward the stairs. Walking away from her felt like tearing off a piece of myself. But I kept going, down the hallway, down the stairs, out into the cold morning air that suddenly felt far too big for the man I used to be. When I reached my car, I finally broke. Not loudly. Not dramatically. Just the quiet kind of crying that happens when something inside you folds in on itself. Her phone buzzed in my pocket. I took it out and stared at the screen. Another message from the same number. Still waiting. I powered the phone off. For the first time that morning, I felt certain of something. I wasn't waiting anymore.